So I'm just giving a summary. Yeah, it's a page, well, depending on what you have there.
Page 50.
Huh?
Bottom of page 50.
Second paragraph, wait, it's page 50. Bottom of page 50. The last paragraph before Ois Vov. So the last thing he's saying, talking about tshuva, so he says, B'Beifin Klali, just in general, tshuva comes from the fact it's an expression of the etzem and the neshama with the Eibishter, with Atzmos. However, he went into pratim and he distinguished between the tshuva itself and the sibba, the cause for the tshuva. It appears the pshat is, what he's saying is, so the tshuva itself is the will, the rotzen of a yid, no matter what, even notwithstanding having done an aveda, choto pogam. So there's an irrepressible will that a yid will do tshuva. That's the tshuva itself. The sibba is, well, why? Why is it that a yid will always want to do tshuva? No matter what. And it's absolute and unconditional and guaranteed. The answer is because the neshama is a part of the Eibishter. So that's the distinction. The will, which is the expression of the will, the emes is the expression of the etzem and neshama. But why will that will always manifest? Because the etzem and neshama, I want because I am. I want to do tshuva because I am a yid that's bound up in one with the Eibishter. That's the nekud. Also, just to understand, he added something else. He said, therefore, as we identify the two levels, I want and then I am. So I want means that there is period. There's period b'chitzonius, but the pnimius, he wants to remain connected and always did, and therefore he does tshuva. So with this parallels, I get to get this now, the way the Eibishter himself. Let's get this clear. The tshuva is the expression of the Baal HaRatzon. And the Baal HaRatzon, what's the Lamaila, the kapara that comes from the Eibishter, the Baal HaRatzon explained earlier, the whole mile of tshuva, and the chiddush of tshuva, that even though we transgress, to make it clearer, he spoke about this darga. I should make a sheet, we'll have to do it, because the Medrash says, B'mi nimlach, with who did Hashem consult with when he created the world? Nishmersem shal tzaddikim. So that is the rotzen. That's the articulated will, that we should be tzaddikim. All Yidden should follow Torah and mitzvahs. Shuvah comes from the Baal HaRatzon. The higher level, the actual rotzen itself, the master of the will, the source of it. He explained at length that Shuvah is a gewaltige chiddush that reveals, in other words, a deeper desire than the rotzen of Torah and mitzvahs. When Hashem desires deeper, he is not Torah mitzvahs per se, but Torah mitzvahs as a result of tshuva. So that's the Baal. The rotzen is Torah mitzvahs. The Baal rotzen, you're closing the door. You should make it look like I'm hearing sound. Well, thank you. So Torah mitzvahs is the rotzen. Tshuva is an expression of the Baal HaRotzen, which is higher than the actual will itself. It's a deeper level on the Rotzen. It's not being good. It's not being good, as explained yesterday with other issues. Mitzad the kavana of Bamin Nimlach in Shveshem Sal Tzadikim, which is the articulated goal, Torah, written out. The Eibishter wants religious Jews. Mitzad the Baal HaRotzen doesn't want religious Jews. They want you. But you didn't do it. I still want you. And I want you even deeper. How will you express that? It's the Torah mitzvahs. That's how tshuva. Torah mitzvahs is, of course, the expression of the shleimus of tshuva. But what tshuva brings out is the chidush here, the changes. The kavanah is not Torah mitzvahs per se. That's a means to an end. The kavanah is the yid. It's not, I want religious Jews. I want a yid. And I want to be one with the yid lamata. How? So through this. And if this doesn't happen, it's true. That's so dramatically expressed, as we said yesterday with the Shviras Haluchas. The Shviras Haluchas, which is the summation of Torah. Asher Shibarta. The word Asher is redundant. Rashi brings it from Parshas Kisisa. Asher Meloshin Asher, which is happy. Yeshakresh Shibarta. Torah, the Yom said in the end, Torah is saying, and this is Simchas Torah. The Torah is rejoicing. Torah itself understands there's no miling Torah per se. It expresses the yid. Oh, so if the yid walked away temporarily from Torah, breaks it. Don't need it. Don't need it. We want you. So that's the Baal HaRotzen. And then the third dark. The third darga, which is again the sibba, why the person will have this new rotzen no matter what. When he sinned, his rotzen was to sin, forced it because he wanted to. Now he's megala, deeper rotzen, paralleling the maila, a deeper tainug that Eibishter has, which is tshuva, which is again the neshama. And the third level is, so why will you want to always do tshuva? Because you are a part of it. Okay? So they're kind of clear. Rotzen, Baal HaRotzen, Etzem and Hashem. Not exactly the issue here, but basically. Torah mitzvahs, tshuva, I am Jewish, no matter. That's the sibba. Okay. Let's go weiter. So why do you have to have, it's a subtle point coming. If it's Tzumash Hayom is Mechapa, what do you have to do tshuva? And that's the Allah, that's the Chachamim. If Tzumash Hayom is Mechapa, you just finished saying that this dargim, that this dargim, Tzumash Hayom expresses that I am a Yid, with a Chatchila, there's no Chatoyim, and there's nothing can get in the way. There's no Pagam Chatchila. It's not the lower dargim, there was a Pagam of fixing it. There's a rotzen this way now, a higher rotzen, a deeper rotzen, an eternal rotzen. But it all addresses Pagami. Etzem and Neshama, when that's revealed, there's no Pagam Chatchila, so the tshuva that comes directly from there, it's not, I'm changing and I wonder, just I'm a Yid, and that's it. It's easy there. That's the paradox is that it's easy there. It's not a battle of wills. The will to sin, the will to do tshuva. At the end of the day, it's the will to do tshuva is high, it's going to win. Every yid's going to do tshuva. If Ticha Torah promises. But that's a battle. It's a battle. But when that's in the Neshama is revealed, it reveals a level where it's not shaykh any other way. It's beyond choice, beyond the Ratzah. So the shaila is, if that's what it's Tzumash Hayom is Megala, what did he do tshuva for? So he said all that we did, we'll understand. That's the sibba. In order that there should be the Amshacha of the Tzumash Hayom, which is Gilo Eskashis or Atzmus, the revelation of the essential bond that's in the Neshama Ima Atzmos. That's a given, but it's revelation. There has to be some kind of of Pul and Alpa, brackets, we learned in the first mind. What reveals the Etzem and the Neshama Rosh Hashanah? There's the avodah of Tabnechum Yalecha, which comes from Etzem and Neshama, but there's the avodah. So therefore, he's Kashus Atzmus. What is the cause? Ultimately, for tshuva is this essential bond. So therefore, the Yid has to express that in his tshuva, that's how he's mamshich litzum. Again, this is the sibba, the cause, and the fact of tshuva. What's going to reveal? The revelation of the Etzem and the Neshama is the Pa'ula of Tshuva. Is the Pa'ula. That's what draws on the Etzem and the Neshama. And that's why Yitzum Mishayim is Mechaper. To Shavim only. Because on the one hand, what's being is God is a level, but there's no chet to begin with. That's true. But the Eibishter's desires, we learned in the previous Maimon, is there has to be the partnership with us, alcohol. So we have to open to that. We have to open to that. And how do we open to the Gil Etzem Neshama? That's through the Ratzon, to the will, to the tshuva that is irrepressible. Where does that will come from? Because I am a Yid. So that unlocks the I am a Yid, which then from there is expressed in Tzuma Shal Yoim, is right there in I am a Yid. Is that somewhat clear? Let's go further. Let's go in more detail. Well, being in the Pratiyas Yisrael, to understand this in more detail, Yuvan Behektimash is Boiliel. We understood which we explained in the mind which we learned. The mind of Dibra Maschul Yivchalahu. Shedibikia Shefer the Rosh Hashanah. This will clarify things here. That in Shefer shall days in Nasa Tamil Choni Alechem, which affects Tamil Choni Alechem, Hashem being king. So we said that's Gimel in Yod. From the bottom up. One, Kiyam HaMitzvah the Tkiya Shefer is fulfilling the mitzvah. Shehi Yanisarusa the Latata. This is the arousal from below. The Yid is doing something, he's fulfilling the commandment. Again, this is Torah mitzvah. This is the mitzvah component of the shofar. That's the Ratzon Agol. You do mitzvahs. That's number one. Then there is the higher level of Tkiya Shofar, not Tshuva to Tkiya Shofar. Then there's the level of Tshuva that Shofar conveys. That's the Baal Ratzon. Shal Yod and Nimshach HaHechlet Sheberatzon HaNela, which we explain that in the tshuva, that unlocks and reveals the hidden Ratzon. Machshava v'Ratzon HaMuchlet. That's the second level. What's this Machshava v'Ratzon HaMuchlet? That expresses Hashem's desire for us that's unconditional. But then there's more than Hashem's desire for us. The third level. No, this is all second level. It's all that. In two categories in the second level. Highest still, but also shall you explain that how are we able to me'ored and megala the Ratzon Limlucha, which is lifnei atzim its all blikvo, because part of Hashem's desire and decision for kavanah for creation is that we should affect it. That's all part of that. The Eibishter decides that no, that's fine, like human beings in a shamal, in a guf, will be ma'ored the Ratzon Gola. That's all the second level. It's all children. And then there's the third level, and then shofar expresses, and in our order, it was like, it's not even the blowing of the shofar, just taking the shofar. It's the etzem yid. So this bittul pnimi, this is the silent sound of the shofar, the kol pnima, the lo yishtan, Chassidus talks about. So this bittul pnimi shemesat etzem and neshama shayidei ze nimshach rotzon hamuchlat atzmi, and that touches the very essential desire of the Eibishter for creation, for the whole process. Why? What is the desire? His desire is the Neshamas Yisrael, which is a part of himself. He's really desiring himself in the sense. That's what it is. And who is that? That's the Neshama. If you look at the previous mind, the pratim of that. Okay, so these are the three levels. Summary: there's the mitzvah of Tchiyah Shofar. There's the tshuva of Tchiyah Shofar, and then there's the etzem cry of Tchiyah Shofar, which is an expression of the etzem and the neshama that's part of the Eibishter, the words of the Maimah, which unlocks the rotzon hamuchlat atzmi. In this avak of the Baruch Hu, on the deepest level, a yid unlocks Rosh Hashanah in a deeper way than ever before. Now, Pia, you do it, it's like that which is no Shaim the being a malchus of the Meshech Kol. So it has to make sure it's either. So it has to make sure. So this is not a process that happens in Rosh Hashanah just itself. This whole process of being in a malchus on the three levels we describe, mitzvahs, tshuva, etzem connection, this happens throughout all Aseret Mikshur was explained in Kabbalah. You see this, the 10 days, specifically the 7 days. Anyway, Yesh loima shegam b'Aseret Mikshur. So he's saying that even Aseret Mikshur, it's not enough. The classic tshuva, it also has to be the continuation of which began Rosh Hashanah. The avodah shmisat etzem and Hashanah. What about the mitzvah component, Torah 32? That's so you're saying in Aseret Mikshur we need all three? No, surely the mitzvah as well, the tshuva and the etzem cry of a yid. She says Torah 32, being a mitzvah shmisat Mikshur, yesh leima shmisat Mikshur as a hirus b'mitzvah siyos. It means that the person should be more careful, even if a whole year he's passed out, this time he shouldn't. So there's a practical mitzvah component. So throughout the entire sesame, tshuva coming in Yom Kippur, it's avoid on three levels. Particular attention to mitzvahs, the gewalt of tshuva, and then the I am a year that drives it. Now he continues to explain, Shira Malis Mimamakim. So this is the capital that we say. Mimamakim from the depths I call you. So the Shaila is why the plural. Mimamakim. So the Isa Bezaya Vahu Amika Da Mikta. The plural. Mimamakim Lasharabi. This is the depth within the depth. Says the Zayda Ikri Tshuva. That's called Tshuva. One depth is not true. Depth of depth, that's true. So what does this mean? So this is all based on Tavshin Gimel. So the Friedrich Rebbe explained, these are two depths. One, Rotzen Hanelam, the hidden Rotzen, and then the Atzmis, the Gerotzen. Rotzen Hamuch, the Atzmus. Meaning, so to draw out the hidden, that's one depth. They're both deep, meaning they're not obvious. What is obvious is be a good boy and don't do avayas. That's the obvious. So now we're saying no, tshuva is mamshich a deeper rotzen. So the first level is what? Rotzen anelam. So that is holiday psychos hakel haba me'amakiv the chaya. That's the expression of chai, which is basically chai is a rotzen. That's tshuva. That's the will of a yid. The gewalt, no matter what I did, no change. That's the first oimik. What's me'amakim the oimik, the true tshuva? V'amshoch oimik the rotzen hamuchlet. So to draw from the Eibishter not only his desire for us, which is more than the classic do mitzvahs, because let's make this clear. Do mitzvahs, you're in. If you don't, I don't want you. You're useless. So Tshuva says, I want you even though you did it not, baby. That's the first level of Rotz. This is the Oymik Rotz. That comes from the Chai of the Neshama, which is basically the Rotzen of the Neshama. Tshuva. Chai is the Rotzen. What draws, not just Eibishter's unconditional desire for us, is unconditional bond with us. That is even a deeper cry in Tshuva, which is silent, which comes from the Makiv Yechid. It's all going to tie into the two levels of Makiv of the Sukkah. We get a bit of that at the end. That's what it says in Zohar. Elsewhere in Zohar it says as follows. Shira Malistam, Song of Ascent, like Pirish, Mount Omer. Who's saying this? Who's saying this Song of Ascent? It then continues, Memakim Karasich. Ella, so the Zohar continues. Why is there no author? Because it's everybody. Shira Malis. This Shira Malis, there's a meaning in the future called me Alma. Everybody's going to say. Okay, so he's saying that what's he adding to this? What's he bringing to Zohar? That this tshuva, which is not just Makiv the Chaya, but the tshuva of Makiv the Yechid, which is I'm a Yid and it can't be any other way, says the Zohar, it's a capital that doesn't have an author because it's the song of every Yid. Furthermore, in the future, like before Mashiach, it's our generation. The Zohar continues, like in Asiya contradiction. Does David the Melech say so? That he's calling me Ma'amakim? The Pasuk says, with all my heart I seek you. So my boy, what do you need me Ma'amakim? Well, what's Ma'amakim adding over that which he says in the Kapitel Kuf test? That I seek you with all my heart. What is this different than that? Answers the Zohar, what's the mitzvah between B'chol Libi Derashtich and Ma'amakim? The difference is that this teaches all people. What does it teach? The source of all sources. That's the Zohar's answer. What's the Zohar answering? What's the Zohar asking? What's the Zohar answer? What's the Zohar's question? Did David say so? He says already in the previous capital, this confused, with all my heart I seek you. That's previous alev. So what's added with the from the depth? He said it already. So the Zohar answers because it's the depth of the depth. We draw from the shayrish of all sources. And how do we do that? That is not just, that's more than children. Again, that's the Etzem HaNefesh cry. That's the depth within the depth. So again, it's saying the same thing. We're getting, we're clear? The Zohar, the three dargas. The three dargas. Torah mitzvahs, Tshuva, Ratzon Goloi, that's one oimik. And then there's Etzem HaNeshama, that's Ma'amakim, the oimik lifnim oimik. The Yeshloima, let's go a bit further. The statement of the Zohar, Hu Amika da Amikta Ikri Tshuva. So when the Zohar says, L'chayre, Tshuva is the lower level too. One oimik is also Tshuva. But the Zohar wants to say that the true Tshuva is the Amika da Amikta. Medabagin HaTshuva, Hamshachas HaHechlet Sheb'ratzon HaNelem, B'ratzon HaMuchlet. The Zohar is talking about you know, we're going to stop here because to go further, I'm going to have to make a chart. As the ICs are flying all over the place. Which is things as they match up. If you try, just keep on plowing ahead. Why not? Okay. Say the ICs. What do you have, by the way? You have the mind copies.
What's the highest level of Avodah during the service of Rachel?
Just speak up.
The Avodah, just being a Jew, how is that practical? Like, how does that practically come out?
How does it practically come out?
Just a thought. It's.
In other words, can you call that?
Yeah, everything is in the thought. It's embracing. It's coming to, at least in some area in my life, this is not a discussion anymore. It's not a discussion. I'm a Yid, that's what a Yid does. It's an expression of the simple commitment that goes higher than the struggle. It's not about iskafia, I want this, or I don't want, I'm pushing myself. It's a hachlata azay nicht anders, and it's just not open to discussion anymore, and it's easy after that. It's a deep decision of embracing the death. I am a Yid, I'm a chassid. This is what a chassid, that's what a Yid does. That's it. If it's not negotiable, it's not even a struggle anymore. If I'm struggling, that's the lower level of shit. Now you ask me how to do that. That's why Moishe gave us a kippur and Rosh Hashanah. Keeps on stirring it for us. He keeps on stirring it, and it hasn't gone away. So just knowing, I was there, sure, Shrefa was blown. I lived through Yom Kippur, that's when the Neshama was stirred. It happened, so no one awake. The paradox is that this level is the easiest. There's no struggle here. Classic tshuva is a struggle. I wanted this, now I want this. And the tug of war between this rotz and that rotz. And of course, Lev Shalakis will win. That's my deepest rotz. But that's a struggle. Tshuva on this level is not a struggle. Now let's be practical. The emphasis, in my mind, like if we really live this, then there's no struggle about anything ever again. But Kiyadua, we start with one thing. With one thing. It's just a decision. I'm not fighting myself about this anymore. It's not every day go, yes, I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it. It's just not negotiable. Whatever it is, each person and their union. If it's in one place, it will affect everywhere else also. It must. It must. But our avoid has to be at least in, I think I told you what the Rabbi said. The famous Medish, open up for me like the point of a needle. I'll open your heart like opening of the ulam, which is open with no doors 20 hours high, etc. So the Rabbi said, Abisha says, give me one thing. And it couldn't. But it's like it penetrates through and through. There's no barriers here. One nekuda in your life where not negotiable. If she says, I'll take you the rest of the way, it will happen. That means in order for us to have coming now, etc., this is where it has to manifest. Something in my life that was so bad, passionate, whatever it is, each one, Rambam every day, whatever it is, behavior, certain behavior. A certain response, I always respond this way to my spouse, my friend, whatever. It's not all finished. It's not long. Wipe myself. This is just I'm a Yid. He doesn't do that. Goodbye, Charlie.
What brings us is the understanding that
the understanding that's the real me. No hero, no martyr. It's beyond changing, beyond tshuva. It's being authentically Jewish. In this, I'm going to be authentically express the authenticity of my neshama. Doesn't do this or does do this, whatever it is. It's achlata atzmi. That's it. Just like you have to breathe, to make a decision to breathe, make a decision to eat, a decision to go to the toilet. That's what human beings do. Breathe, eat, they go to the bathroom. This, whatever it's Rambam, it's Chitas, whatever it is. This is what a Yid does. I'm just bringing that as an example. But in any area of life. This is what a Yid does. What doesn't? That's a neshama right there. Again, it's only one nakuda spread. Today's story